Hi Libra, this is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle forecast. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for the upcoming week, break it down, and let you know how to navigate. This video is intended for all Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. So if you'd like to check out your other astrological placements, please check out my other videos. Now this card, as you see, couldn't even wait to come out. It says the Wise Woman of Wonderland, integrity and compromise. Are you staying true to yourself? Now, I've seen this card in many of the readings, and therefore I'm going to ask you, are you being true to yourself? Are you living authentically? You know, we just had a full moon, total lunar eclipse in Virgo, and it brought up so many disruptions last week, disruptions to sleep, very vivid dreams, anxiety, emotions that came to the surface that nobody anticipated, and Mercury Retrograde started the very next day. So, in other words, we're possibly going to have tech glitches, breakdowns, miscommunications, even people popping up from the past. And that just adds even more energy because Venus is in retrograde. And we've talked about that in previous videos, but that's a reevaluation of relationships and finances and self-worth. So there's so many energies coming our way. Now, there is a new moon solar eclipse again happening on March 29th in Aries. So a lot of changes are happening, and we're going to get through this. But you may have some inner conflict, morality, conscious choice. You have a choice about how you want to handle things and what's next. What else do you need to know? The cosmos, creativity, and vastness. Look at the size of this moon here. I think the full moon had a big effect on you. This is the number 41 card, which is 5, which is big changes ahead. And Sisters of the Season says cycles of growth. So moon cycles, right? Natural law and divine order. Everything happens the way that it's supposed to. So let's take a look at some cards, looking at the events of this week, what's unfolding. And we have the Hierophant, slow, methodical steps. This can be commitment. 8 of Wands, communication. I've seen the 8 of Wands so many times, it's unbelievable. It's like manifestation or communication coming in. There could be somebody that's popping up from your past. And with that, the 2 of Wands is telling you to leave your comfort zone. You might have a decision to make in love, Are you in the old, are you in the new? But I want you to ask for what you desire. Ask and you shall receive. Ask for what you want or better. That's super important because sometimes we don't even realize that we can achieve even better than what we're looking for, So let's take a look at what's unfolding. What's unfolding this week? Well, the Ace of Cups is telling you to fill your own cup. There's a new emotional beginning happening here for you. And there's the 2 of Swords, that decision point. 2 of Wands is also a decision because, it's asking you to leave your comfort zone. Are you willing to? Are you in the old? Are you in the new? And I say that with the 2 of Swords as well, because you really have to decide on something. And that can be hard for Libra because Libra wants balance, and sometimes they're indecisive because they don't want to hurt anybody. They want to keep the peace. And with that, we have here the Ace of Wands. There is a spark. Now you're getting 2 aces here. This says brand new beginnings, which is great. That's creativity. That could be passion, emotional beginnings here, filling your own cup. And the Sun card, which is a yes card, the happiest card in the deck. I don't know if you love sunflowers, but that's a lovely, lovely image of happiness and also the idea of moving forward. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the shifts and lessons, like what's revealing itself this week. The Star, healing. I think everybody's gotten the Star card. We're definitely on a healing journey right now. Old wounds are coming to the surface and we got to process. And then there's the Magician, Mercury. This is all about communication. So be mindful of your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your actions, because boy, do they ever matter right now. Page of Pentacles is studying and learning. And I always say, take what you've learned from the past, apply it to the present so you have a better future. You might also be recognized for something in your day-to-day life or even your career. And with that, we have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, things are unfolding slowly. The the shifts. I don't know if I said ships or shifts, but shifts are happening slowly but surely. You're learning as you're going. Healing takes time. Just be mindful of your communication, right? And I've been advising people to listen more than you speak, right? So let's take a look at what's headed your way. Now, I really like this deck because it's the after tarot. These tarot cards tell you kind of the current energies. This one tells you what's coming. It's a sneak peek. So there's the Six of Wands, which is victory. That's exactly what we want. Beautiful. Recognition, even. And the Seven of Wands is asking, are you on the offensive or are you on the defensive? So you got to be careful a bit because you don't want to be like a wounded animal in the corner. You don't want to have walls up, but you might have to get up, stand up for yourself, maybe even fight a little bit. But again, pick your battles wisely. And with that, we have here the, oh, how beautiful, the Two of Cups. Look at the embrace that they're in. There's some real love here. My little kitty cat that's joining in. Now, with that, we have here the Death and Rebirth card, Scorpio energy. I don't know if you're dealing with a Scorpio or have any Scorpio placements, but you know, you're going through a real change. And I mentioned the sunflowers earlier. Here's the sun. Here comes the sun, you know. But in order to get to that new dawn, that new day, we've got to recognize that we can have our victory. We've got to stand up for ourselves. We've got to allow love in and new opportunities or situations. That's really lovely. Okay, let's take a look at the Power of Surrender cards here just to see what we need to surrender or surrender to. I think what's overwhelming for me in this reading, like what's really hitting me, are these aces. You know, the idea that you have brand new beginnings. And on top of that, you've got these twos. I just wanted to point that out again. You know, the Two of Swords and Two of Wands, leaving the comfort zone, but Two of Cups here as well, like 222. You're building something, right? So I like that. Be open to the new opportunities. Again, ask and you shall receive. So let's take a look at the Power of Surrender cards just to see what you need to surrender or surrender to. And we have, see, surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Absolutely. If there's negativity around you, that influences you, right? You know the old expression, misery loves company. Who wants to be around miserable people or negative people? If you're finding that it's overwhelming or you're noticing it more and more and more, it means you've got to make some boundaries. You've got to allow the new energy to come in. You've got to maybe pick some battles where you're very clear about what works for you and what doesn't. It's totally up to you. But I really hope this resonates with you. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in the description box below. Thank you very much, and I wish you an amazing week.